I work at this grocery store in Tampa. Nothing fancy, just your regular supermart. Been there for like 3 years now, mostly doing inventory and computer stuff in the back office. I'm not gonna use my real name here. Let's just call me Derek. My manager always said I was good with numbers and computer systems, which is why she put me on the loyalty card program stuff. You know, those little plastic cards that give you discounts? Yeah, those things generate tons of data. Anyway, it started in October. I was running the weekly reports when I noticed something weird. Some customers were buying really strange combinations of items. Like who buys exactly 3 cans of corn, 1 bottle of dish soap, and a pack of batteries at 2:47 p.m. every Tuesday. At first I thought, okay, maybe they're just really organized people. But then I saw more patterns. Different customer cards, but same weird timing. Always specific times, always odd combinations of stuff that made no sense together. I remember my neighbor's dog kept barking that whole week, which was annoying as hell because I needed sleep. But I started staying late at work, digging deeper into these purchase records. That's when things got really fucked up. These customer accounts, they didn't match our physical customer database properly. The names were there, the credit cards worked, but when I cross-referenced with our sign-up sheets and address verifications, half of these people didn't exist. Like, completely made up. But here's the thing that made my skin crawl. The credit card numbers, they belonged to real customers, people who actually shopped at our store. Someone had somehow linked fake loyalty accounts to real people's stolen credit card information. I started tracking when these mysterious purchases happened. Every single time, the real credit card owner was physically in our store at that exact moment. Like the system showed Mrs. Henderson buying groceries at Register 3, but it also showed her loyalty card being used to buy completely different items at the same time. The genius part was the timing. Whoever was doing this knew our customers' shopping patterns perfectly. They knew exactly when people would be in the store, so when the fake purchases went through, it looked like the same person was just buying more stuff. I spent the whole weekend going through months of data. Dozens of customers had been unknowingly paying for someone else's groceries. We're talking thousands of dollars. My girlfriend kept asking why I was so stressed, but I couldn't explain it yet. Monday morning, I decided to check our security cameras. This is where it gets really creepy. I mapped out all the fake purchases and tried to see who was collecting these items. But here's the thing. Whoever was doing this knew our store layout perfectly. They knew exactly where our camera blind spots were. I found footage of shopping carts appearing in those blind spots, getting filled with the exact items from the fake purchases, then disappearing again. No person visible, just carts moving around like ghosts. Then I realized something that made me want to quit immediately. The fake loyalty accounts had access to our internal scheduling system. This person knew when employees were working, when deliveries happened, when the store was most crowded. They had been using our own data against us for months. I brought everything to my manager on Tuesday. She went pale when I showed her the evidence. We called the police immediately. Turns out this was way bigger than just our store. Similar schemes were happening at supermarts across Florida and Georgia. They never caught whoever did it. The fake accounts went dormant the day after I discovered them, like they knew I was onto them. The FBI said it was probably someone with inside knowledge of retail systems, maybe a former employee or someone in corporate. The creepiest part? 2 weeks later, I found a new loyalty account in the system, created the night after the investigation started. The name on it was Derek Thompson, my actual name. My real name that I didn't tell you earlier. I quit the next day. Now I work at a small hardware store in Orlando. I still use loyalty cards, but I check my credit card statements obsessively. Sometimes I wonder if whoever was behind it is still out there, still watching, still learning people's patterns. The grocery store installed new security cameras everywhere after that. But I heard from my old coworker that weird purchases still happen sometimes, just less obvious now, more careful. I never found out who was doing it, and honestly, I don't want to know. My name's Kale. I'm just a regular dude who fixes stuff at a grocery store in Boise, Idaho. Been doing it for like 3 years now. I live alone in this tiny house. My dog, Rusty, keeps me company. He's always chewing on my socks, leaves holes everywhere. Anyway, something freaky happened at work last month and I gotta tell someone. I was in the produce section, checking the misters, those things that spray water on the veggies. I do it every day, no big deal. But that day, I saw this extra tube poking out from behind the lettuce shelf. It wasn't part of the usual setup. Made me pause. I don't know why, but it gave me this weird vibe, like when you hear a noise at night and can't figure out what it is. So I decided to follow it. The tube went along the wall, all sneaky-like, into the back of the store. I grabbed my flashlight, 'cause it's dark back there, past the boxes and stuff. The air smelled old, and I kept hearing this faint drip, drip, drip. Thought it was just pipes or something, but it wouldn't stop. Made my skin crawl a little. The tube led me to this corner I'd never seen before. There was this big tank, hidden behind some dusty crates. Not one of ours. It looked out of place, kinda rusty. I hesitated, like maybe I shouldn't mess with it. But I pushed the crates aside and popped the lid. Inside was this gross liquid, not water. It stank, murky as hell, like something died in there. I just stood there, staring. What was this? I grabbed a jar from the break room, scooped some up, and sent it to a lab. Didn't tell anyone yet. Felt too weird. That night I kept thinking about it. Couldn't sleep. Rusty was pacing too, like he knew something was up. A few days later the lab called. I almost dropped my phone when they told me. That liquid? It had poop in it. Yeah, fecal matter, and other nasty stuff. Someone was pumping that crap through the misters onto the food. I felt sick, like people were buying that stuff, eating it. I told my manager, Rick. He's a chill guy, but his face went pale. He said, "Kale, what the hell? We gotta call the cops." So we did. They dug into it, and it got worse. Turns out, some ex-health inspector named Greg got fired from his job in Tacoma for taking bribes. Dude was pissed and decided to mess with grocery stores. Lots of them. He'd been rigging the misters with that filth for months. Revenge, I guess. Cops said thousands of people in Boise and beyond ate that contaminated produce. All those stomach bugs going around? Not random. It was him. I can't shake it. Every time I walk through the store now, I hear that dripping in my head. I keep wondering, how long was it happening before I noticed? Last week, I was so freaked out I left the TV on all night just to drown out the quiet. Rusty slept next to me, snoring loud as hell, but it didn't help much. It's messed up, man. A grocery store is supposed to be normal, boring even. Now I don't trust anything. What if there's more tanks out there? What if he's still doing it somewhere? I don't know. I just keep fixing stuff, pretending it's fine. But it ain't. I was working at this little grocery store in Alton, Illinois. Been a stock clerk there for a few months. Name's Kale, by the way. It's a quiet town. Nothing big ever happens. Or so I thought. It started slow. I'm stacking cans one night and I notice the expiration dates look weird. Like the labels don't match up right. I brush it off. Maybe I'm tired. But then, a few days later, I grab some meat to stock and the date says it's fresh for weeks. I smell it though. It's off. Bad off. I think, nah, just a mistake, but it bugs me. Then customers start talking. This old guy, Mr. Hensley, says, "Kale, my wife got sick from your milk last week." Another lady mentions her kid puked after eating some soup from here. I'm getting this uneasy vibe. One night, I see this dude across the street, just staring at the store. No one knows him. Gives me chills. So, I stay late one shift, poking around the stockroom. I find these labels, perfect copies of the real ones, but with fake dates. Someone's been stretching them out, weeks, months even. My hands shake holding them. Then, footsteps. I duck behind some boxes. It's the manager, Ms. Daria, with two other workers and this sketchy guy. They're whispering, "Been over a year. Cheap expired stuff. New labels. Big profit. Customers don't know." I'm freaking out. They're poisoning people on purpose. Suddenly, Ms. Daria sees me. "Who's that?" she yells. I bolt, heart slamming, crashing through the aisles. They chase me, but I make it out and call the cops. They bust the whole crew later. Turns out they'd been selling rotten food forever, splitting cash with some shady distributor. I quit after that. Still hear those footsteps in my head sometimes. Oh, and that night, my sister called me freaking out because I left the TV blaring when I rushed out. Weird what sticks with you.